The backyard woodshop.
Hi, welcome back to the Backyard Woodshop. I'm Tom Ryder. Today we've got a fun little project. It's a toy train whistle. It uses pieces of scrap wood that you have in your scrap bin. It's easy to make. All you need is a little piece that's 8 inches long by 5 1/8 wide. If you want to know how to make this, stay tuned and I'll show you how.
Alright, first we're going to set our 1/4 inch router bit at a 1/16 of an inch, and then we're going to use our centering scale with a 1/4 inch router bit and set it for 3/4 of an inch, and our lower scale at 5 5/32. This step is to confirm that you're right in the center of the 3/4 inch board. It's not necessary really, but I went ahead and did it, and then off camera I just trim off. You just set your saw to 5 inches and trim that little piece off, and then you're ready to begin. Next step is we're going to start reading by our lower scale and set it to 5 inches. If I can get it to slide close enough so I can lock it in. There we go. Our next step is going to be to set our outfeed stop to 2 3/4. Next we're going to set our scale to 5 5/16 and lock that in. Then we move our outfeed stop to 2 1/4 inches. Then we're going to raise our router bit up to 1/4 of an inch. Then we're going to set a stop at 7 1/4 inches. Next we're going to move from 5 5/16 setting back to the 5 inch setting so that we can finish our 1/4 inch deep groove in the second flute. Then we're going to move our outfeed stop back to 2 3/4 inches. Alright, our next step is we're going to set our table saw fence at 4 1/2 inches because we've got a 5 inch block, and we're going to allow for an 1/8 inch kerf, so that will leave us with 3/8 of an inch strip come off there for our whistle body. That's the air chambers, and that forms 2 whistles right there. And then we're going to next take our fence and move it in again to 4 inches, and we're going to repeat that same rip cut again, and we're going to end up with another strip 3/8 of an inch thick, and that'll be another 2 whistle air chambers set free from the block. And our next step is going to be we need some top cap strips, so we're going to move our fence in another 1/4 of an inch, and that'll be at 3 3/4, and that will give us an 1/8 inch strip. And there we go. And that's going to form 2 whistles. It's going to give us enough components for 2 of the whistles. And then we're going to move our fence in another 1/4 of an inch. Now we'll be at 3 1/2 inches, and we're going to rip another strip off, and that'll give us enough components, top piece components, for another set of 2 sets of whistles there. There we go. And that was a pretty easy operation, and that block that's left will make another set of whistles. So here's all our cut off pieces from our master block, and we're all set. Alright, I've got a piece of 2x4 with some 1/8 inch slots cut in it with some stops to the back. They're at 90 degrees, and then that angle is 60 degrees. And it's locked into my miter saw. I'm using a very fine finish blade, and that will result in a 30-degree angle on our pieces. And I get 2 at a time, and they're both exactly the same. It makes it very repeatable.
Be the last one. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, we're going to wrap up this video here. I'm sad to say that the red oak whistles are not very good. The material, I guess it's just something with the red oak, it's just not very tonal. You just can't really get much of a whistle out of them. They just don't really work. Luckily, I made a bunch during this process of maple ones, and every maple one has worked flawlessly. I mean, I can grab any of them that I've made, and they sound a little different, but they all whistle. So I guess there's something with that sharpness of the oak. You know, maybe the open pore of it just doesn't get the vibration you need. And then I made a couple longer ones. These are a 1/2 inch longer than the rest, and I think they sound the most like a toy train. Here we go. So I think if I make a bunch more after these, I'll probably go with this 1/2 inch longer design. It's if you're making these along with me, the originals are 3 inches long and the new ones are 3.5. So I like the 3.5 design. I think I'm going to stick with that from now on, just because of the sound. And definitely going to make them out of maple. So really appreciate you watching this video. If you would, hit that like button. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you a subscriber. I'm always trying to come up with new and interesting things to make. So stay tuned for the next ones. Who knows what I'm going to make next. But until the next time, I see you in the backyard.